Hi, Mark. Good to see you again.
And yourself as well, Rodney. I'm always happy to join you on these Zoom calls. I think it's a great way to stay in touch with our investors and the community at large.
Yeah, so we put out a press release on more detail on
Yes.
how we plan to drill. But before we begin, I guess to address what probably on everybody's mind is we've got the money to drill, but we still need the permits. So, what is your best guess as to when we might receive those drilling permits?
So I'm very comfortable we'll be in the process of drilling sometime this fall. And we've been working with the U.S. Forest Service for some time now. Late last year, we began that process, going through the drill permitting process. Number of steps are laid out for what we have to fulfill. We've fulfilled most of those steps at this point in time, and we're working very closely with them. And so I'm very comfortable we'll be drilling sometime this fall.
Okay, and so if we are drilling this fall, when might we expect to get drill results reported?
So we expect that sometime later this fall, sometime late this fall, I would say would be my best guess. Certainly by the end of, beginning very early next year at the very, very latest.
Okay, and do you think we'll be reporting drill results in batches or all at once?
Likely in batches, depends on how quickly the drilling goes and the lab turnaround time, but likely in batches, but we'll see how that process goes for ourselves.
Okay, fair enough. So on to our drilling targets. We've reported in our press release that we've selected 5 of 8 areas to permit. So it begs the question, are these our best 5 areas?
Yeah, let me just share my screen with you here. You probably can't see that, I guess.
I see it, good, well.
You do, okay, good. Okay, so we've got the 8 areas that you mentioned, Rodney, and we had to pick the most compelling targets for the drill program. And so I will sit in the fence and say that, yes, we clearly had to make some choices. We picked the most compelling targets, and the other targets that we didn't choose were good targets, but not as good as the other ones. But we also didn't pick certain targets because, for example, Harmonia here, we didn't have enough data really to pick a drill target there, so that got left off the list because of that. For example, also logistics also played a role. We've got a very good network of roads on this property, but the Electra is a bit further away. We are going to build some new roads, but we want to use the existing road network as much as possible. So Electra didn't get on the list because of that, and some of the upper reaches of Callista for the same reason. So combination of data and logistics led into the actual final 10 choices that we actually made.
Okay, so then within those areas, I guess, well, essentially we have selected 10 drill targets out of 33 drill targets for permitting. So are these our best drill targets, and do you have a favorite?
So I'll go to the, this is the program, this is the drill sites. It's in our, this is all in our news release, by the way, so all the details there. So my favorite targets, no, these are not the best 10 individual targets in my view, but they're the best combination of 10 targets. I've been in this business for some time, as you know, and based on my experience, the best thing is to pick a variety of criteria to pick different targets. You don't just have one singular approach. Use a different number of exploration criteria to pick the target. So when you test to see what's at depth where we've never been before, then you'll have a different way. You see different things as you go forward. So in this particular thing, we've got a good combination of targets that are based upon the surface results, on the historical drilling, the alteration we've done, the mineral textures. I worked very closely with our consulting geologists, Mark Backness and Alan Morris, to go through all these different criteria. So I think we've got a nice spread of targets, both based upon the exploration criteria, and also you can see that geographically they are spread over the property. So I've avoided your question to some degree, but to pick the best targets, no, I'm not going to say one best individually, but I like these ABC targets that are on the eastern part here. They're in a very strong structure. You can see a nice soil anomaly. That's some green and yellow here as well. There's some good surface sampling there as well. So I like that set of targets over there for those reasons. And I also like the HIJ targets over here on the far west. And the reason I like those targets, some very good, although sporadic, shallow drill hole results there. In addition, there's quite a bit of old work from the old timers there. The prospectors were here. They dug a shallow shaft. They did some old pits. They found gold here. They knew there was a gold system here. And they couldn't go as deep as we're going to go, which is 300 meters or more. But they knew there was a gold system here. They were onto something, and we're going to build upon the work that they have provided that data for us, if you like, and go deeper than they could ever get before. So combination of factors, I like HIJ for those reasons. I like ABC for some different reasons. but every single target could deliver discovery here. So they've all got different characteristics that I particularly like. We'll see which ones deliver the hopefully bonanza gold zone for us during the drill
Okay,
program.
so it's the combination that we're looking for. So is that why we, in our press release, we have target B as one of a primary target of our 10 targets, yet B has no historic drilling available to it. So I suppose because it belongs to the combination of ABC is why it becomes a priority?
And that's exactly right. We have, as I've tried to emphasize, picked different characteristics for these. So there's been some drilling down here around C, a little bit up here. In this particular area, there's been no historical drilling that tested this particular target. But it does have some, as I said, the strong structure. It's got the soil sampling. There's some mineral textures here, displayed as silica after calcite that gives us a good idea of where we are positioned within this low sulfidation epithermal gold system. So we want to pick that target because of those characteristics. It's different than the other ones. And again, at depth, the third dimension, that's what we're trying to test here. It's unknown territory, and B has got some mystery attached to it that the other ones don't have. So some different features to that one than the other particular
Okay,
sites we've chosen.
so in this program, are we going to be able to test combinations ABC and HIJ?
I or J are both going to test the same target. We actually permitted both those targets. In fact, we permitted 10 targets, so some flexibility when we're on the ground drilling. So it would be I or J, I'd say. H almost certainly, and A, B, and C are also on our high priority list. We won't be able to test all the targets, I believe, with the budget we have in hand, but we will certainly test a wide variety of the targets. And there's certainly, those are ones at the very highest part of our priority list for this initial drill program.
Okay, and then what's the drilling strategy? How are we going to hit the mother lode?
Well, it's a good point. What we're going to be doing, we've mapped the structures at surface, we've mapped the alteration, we've got the historical data. So we're going to be drilling angled drill holes. We're going to project these surfaces, these structurals to depth through the conduits to bring the gold up from deeper areas. And we've projected to where we want to intersect them at about 300 meters depth. So we'll be drilling angled drill holes to try and intercept them at the correct depth, where the gold and silver would come out at the boiling point at about roughly 300 meters depth.
Okay, and then as a geologist, this isn't your first rodeo or first discovery that you've been involved with. So this time around, how do you feel about this one?
This is all about getting to the point after several years of work on the property to get to the drill program. So for a geologist, this is the exciting time. This is really one of the most exciting times in a program for a property. When you get to drill on the property, you drill these holes for the first time ever. You're seeing rock that's coming out of the ground that nobody's ever seen before. So it's terra incognita. It's the third dimension. It's a really exciting time, and the drill program is always a culmination of a lot of work for a team of geologists. Mark Bagnus, Alan Morris, myself spent a lot of time thinking about this. Very exciting time for us.
And I think it's pretty standard. It's been done numerous times before where you find a great deposit at depth.
Well, more and more. Mining has been going on for many centuries, of course, and the surface mines have been found, they've been explored, they've been exploited. The deeper ones, that's what we're looking at now, the deeper dimension, which has not been tested before because the old timers either couldn't get there because they had different targets. So we'll be the first one to drill deep on this property. And that's where the new mines are coming along at these deeper depths that have not been properly tested before, but use the current information and the previous work to build upon that, to pick the best areas to drill.
Okay, exciting times. Are there any other final thoughts you might want to add?
Yes, I'd certainly like to thank everybody for joining us, of course. We appreciate the fact that people called in or Zoom interviews, things of this nature. Appreciate the attention we get. We want to make sure we tell the story so people have the context when we deliver the drill results and know what we have. Also like to thank, we did this $3 million financing recently to provide the funds for this. We have some institutions involved now, Palisades Gold Corp, Alpha North, some other very well-connected shareholders. Appreciate the support of them. Appreciate the attention from people listening today. So thank you very much.
Okay, that's great. Let me just share my screen here. So here we go. Do we all see that? So yes, if anyone has any additional questions or comments, you could feel free to contact either Mark or myself. Here are our phone number and email addresses. Yeah, on this subject or any other matter, feel free to give us a call, and we'll look forward to keeping everyone up to date on our progress.
Drilling in the fall. Here we go.
Okay, thanks everyone.